Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and this game Valley appeared on Steam recently, and I hadn't really heard anything about it, but it looks very interesting. It has a lot of gameplay elements that are, although maybe not necessarily original, I think are put together in a unique way. So let's go ahead and jump into things and just see how all of those things play out. All right, so we can play either a male or a female. I'm not sure if that choice necessarily matters, but I'm male. The Life Seed is said to contain an incredible earth-shattering power. While mostly written off as a myth, some archaeologists are still determined to track down the elusive item, luring some to incredibly remote locations.
Hey, looks like I missed you. I just wanted to wish you luck before you headed out. I still can't believe you're doing this. I mean, hunting down what was it? The life seed? You gotta admit, that sounds crazy. I mean, even if this mythological thing that can shatter worlds or whatever actually exists, what are the chances of you tracking down this ancient relic in the middle of the Rocky Mountains? Listen, I know you want to prove the thing exists. I get that. It's an adventure. Hell, it's your career, but can't you do something normal like the rest of us and just backpack Europe or something? Spend a month in Thailand? But hey, if by some miracle you find this thing and become the most famous archaeologist of all time, beers are on me. I'll even trade in your tinfoil hat for a whip and fedora. I just really hope all those canoeing lessons pay off.
All right, so just off of what I saw there, it was pretty obvious that we're in a earlier time period. All right, and away we go. Ooh, that mouse sensitivity, though. All right, well, I'm probably going to have to change that. All right. Uses discount canoeing lessons. All right, well, I turned the look sensitivity down as far as it goes. It's still a little bit on the sensitive side, so we're just going to have to deal with that. But so far, very impressed visually with the game. Let's just go ahead. It looks like we have a run. Basic walk controls. Ruins? Cave drawings? Where the hell am I? Alright, well, we already figured out hold the shift to run. Now, from what I've seen of this game, is it does have a little bit of a slow start before you get into a lot of the mechanics of the game, so you're just going to have to bear with me on this. I know it appears to be just another one of those walking simulators, but we'll get into how the game mechanics work eventually, I hope. Very beautiful visuals so far. So we've got some mystical elements. First off, we're looking for something called a life seed, which sounds pretty mystical in and of itself. As far as I know, there's nothing we can interact with yet. What are these things? Look like owls or something? What is this place? How hard did I hit my head? I think I'd be wondering that too. Alright, looks like we have a pretty linear path so far. Ooh, here we go. This is something a little different. An old army truck. Must have crashed here ages ago. Alright, we have looks like a mechanical suit. Called a leaf suit, whatever that means. Now this element kind of reminds me a little bit of some other games as well.
Welcome to the Pathfinder program. As a Pathfinder, you will be tasked with operating and testing the newly developed Leaf suit as our hard-working scientists at Pendulum develop new ways to empower our troops fighting the war in Europe. With the power of the Leaf suit, you will be able to perform unimaginable feats. Leaping high into the air. Sprinting as quickly as a cheetah. Even manipulating life and death itself are part of the many stunts accomplished by the Leaf suit. In addition to these marvelous wonders, an audio rear recorder built directly into the suit allows a Pathfinder to conveniently listen to important intelligence, hands-free during training exercises. And don't forget to keep an ear out for new upgrades available for your suit, as our scientists continue looking for new ways to improve the fearsome might of the Leaf suit. Good luck and safe journey as you test the limits of this amazing new technology.
They're kind of a blending of... Cool leaf suit, huh? Kind of a blending of Portal and maybe the feel you get from Fallout. So, we've got space to jump, and it looks like we can jump quite high now.
Virginia King, Audio Journal, June 4th, 1941. Shortly after the outbreak of war in Europe, I was enlisted by the Army to study the history of this valley. The mysterious forest sprites seem to be the last living remnants of the long-lost culture that once lived here. A large number of them seem to inhabit the northeast sector of the valley, just past the ruins where the Life Seed, rumored to possess an earth-shattering power, was found. That's as good a place as any to study them.
Alright, so we have a new quest here. Alright, so we've got the excavation site up ahead, and it looks like we have kind of a... Alright, run down slopes to gain momentum to jump higher and farther. Kind of a Skyrim compass for our quest. Alright, so let's see how fast we can get. I'm going to assume there's no fall damage. And this is one of the big elements of the gameplay that is very unique. It's kind of like Sonic in first person. Looks like we have another jump here. And luckily I can correct my course in the air. Alright. I guess as long as we follow the signs, we'll be good to go. Now it appears that I don't really have that momentum if I'm just running on level ground. Alright, so energy stored within the leaf suit, known as Amrita, can be given to once living things. Alright, so it looks like we've got a dead tree here. And now it's a live tree. Well, that's... Okay, and then you have to obviously aim it. It looks like a projectile almost that you shoot. I wonder, can you hit the same tree multiple times? It doesn't look like it. We also look like, it looks like we have an energy bar. So this is not limitless. Okay, not sure how we get more energy. At this moment, I'm adding the audio commentary and post-processing, as I had an issue with my mic quality that I've encountered one other time where the mic's quality is just fine in the beginning stages of the video, and then at some point it just, for whatever reason, has issues. Now in this video, there were only some slight rough spots here and there, and I was able to edit around them for the most part. But this particular point, the audio, my mic audio, just dies altogether. So I'm having to do this in post-processing so that there is some commentary. Now, at this particular moment, I noticed that my energy was too low. I had drained it by resurrecting all the trees. So I went ahead and did the platforming where you have to jump on these different ledges to get up to this higher point. I saw the energy orbs, and I realized that I could backtrack and resurrect the deer just to see how that mechanic works. But we're going to see that in a little bit more detail a little bit later in the video. Now, at this point, I was realizing that this game possibly had a potential for speedrunning with the first-person platforming aspects of it. But I mentioned that me personally, I'm one of those people that likes to look at the environment, take their time, make sure I'm not missing anything. And there are, hidden objects in the game that you need to collect. At this moment, I also make a reference to Sonic and that you have that compulsion to collect all the rings, or in this case, energy orbs. So I do a little bit of backtracking here. And I make an effort to try and resurrect all of the dead trees and other dead life that I see along the path, because I feel like right now, at this particular moment, there is an abundance of these energy orbs. And at this point, my normal audio is going to pick right up. See if we can hit things as we go. Ooh. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to ration my energy a little bit more, but it looks like they're kind of doling out the energy. All right, search for the life seed. We're going to continue with that. All right. I wonder if there's going to be elements of gameplay where we have to make something dead living to get through terrain or something. All right. Oh, life can also be taken from nearby living things, rich in energy, such as a tree or an animal, to replenish your suit. Less robust life forms, such as blades of grass, provide no value. All right. So, is there a dead thing around? Because I'm pretty much full, so I wouldn't see that. There we go. There's some dead. All right, so now let's... Where'd that one... There we go. Here's some deer. All right, so... That's how that mechanic works. So if I'm low energy, I can kill something to regain energy, or I can bring it back to life, thus reusing the energy. All right, so that's an interesting mechanic. Now, the big part of obviously having that speed is having the elevation. Ooh, we got some ruins here. Is this the excavation site? Alright, well, this looks like something. We should probably... Let's first see if we can interact with it. Nope. Alright, so my guess is just to hit it with some life there. Seems like these fireflies react to energy. Oh, okay, there we go. There's the puzzle element. So again, kind of reminding me a little bit of Portal. I don't know how much of the...
The Army calls this valley Area 634, but I've ascribed a new word for it. Susurrus. The beauty of that word seems to rival the majesty of this place. I suppose that would make its ancient inhabitants officially known as Susurians. To think these ruins have existed here for so long. They predate any known civilization on the continent. They seem to have infused the life energy from trees into their infrastructure, but how?
Alright, so I was trying out some things. Apparently these little ghosty things I can steal life from or put it back in them. And they look all sad and almost turn into statues. I note that one is yellow and out of the group. See, they get that unhappy look on their face. Ooh, there's an acorn. Collect enough acorns to gain access through certain ancient doorways. Okay. So, is the yellow one I've infused with energy? Kind of hard to hit these things because they move around a lot. I don't think that one changed color. Alright, so these are some mechanics I'm going to have to kind of figure out how they work. Okay, and I see one more tree over here. Or is this one already living? Alright, I know that this one's blue. And I guess they were yellow before. I don't remember hitting this one with energy, but maybe I did so accidentally. Alright, well I think we can go through the doorway now. Alright, open crates. We also have... Alright, note from a Pathfinder. I could watch these spirits all day. I can't believe how friendly they are. Brave enough to come right up to us. I guess they have no reason to fear us. We aren't natural predators to them at all. Although I can suck the life right out of them. Okay, energy upgrade. Energy capacity is increased with capacitor upgrades. Find 4 to complete an energy canister. Alright, so a little bit like maybe a Mega Man mechanic. I mean, with Mega Man, you'd only have to get a single energy canister, but there we go. There's our full upgrade. And it looks like it automatically put the energy in there. Although I have plenty of orbs. Alright, so I can see maybe some more dead trees that we have to... Okay. And there's the door we're trying to get in. Alright, I guess I can't... Ooh, there's a couple different ways to go. I can see this tree. But I don't know if I can jump up there without having to jump another way. But it's possible we just come over this way.
Luckily for me, the military is helping to explore all these ruins through the soldiers piloting leaf suits. They call these soldiers Pathfinders so they can trek through terrain normally inaccessible to someone like me. Every guy back home's gonna want to go joyriding in a leaf suit. But until the military's project comes to a close, we're cut off from any contact outside the valley. I guess the world will have to wait just a bit longer to get their hands on these rides.
Alright, well, away we go. And this is another element of things that kind of reminds me of Portal, is the future science in the past idea. And then you kind of have the retro theme to the future tech and Fallout that this is kind of reminiscent of as well. Alright. This is glowing. Maybe that's something I just jump through. But let's see if there's another path before we settle for that. See, sometimes it pays to explore. Okay, what do we got here? A medallion. These medallions are said to be used to access an ancient pyramid. Collect enough pieces to gain entry to its chambers. All right. And then we have another acorn, and then a couple more acorns here. Okay, well, I think now we try out my theory, because I believe that was the extent of the exploration, unless there's something over this way, which it looks like it's caved in. Yeah. All right. So let's jump on down. All right. Guess we're into a new part of the game. Soldiers piloting leaf suits leap effortlessly through air functionality are known as Pathfinders. Their ability to manipulate life with running speeds up to 110 kilometers an hour makes them a deadly addition to the battlefield. All right.
Just what are these glowing orbs that everyone is making a fuss over? They're absolutely beautiful. They seem to grow randomly throughout the valley. I know nothing about them other than that they are indigenous to this valley and that the army is using their energy for their war project. That's about as much as they'll tell me. It's such a shame. I wish they would just let them be. But I suppose this is the whole reason we're here to begin with.
Alright, just making sure there's not anything in the nooks and crannies over here. Doesn't appear to be. Alright, looks like this is the correct path over here. I wonder if I can... Yeah, okay. I definitely can draw life out of the mushrooms. Alright, away we go. Might as well pick up one of these orbs. Alright, I'm not really seeing anything dead, so there's no real need to... Unless this is dead. No, it doesn't appear to be. Now, so far, I feel like the path has been pretty... Well, that was a little bit shaky. The path has seemed pretty linear. Maybe we can jump through it. I don't know if I have enough momentum, though. We'll have to see. Ooh. Ah, nope. Alright, the Leaf Suit's quantum death functionality allows the user to return to life after dying. Alright, so I guess that taught us what happens when you die. Oh, that is dead now. It could have been dead before. Alright, see if we can jump it now. We get a good head start. I'm gonna need, I don't know if this will give me enough speed here. Alright, there we go. So that was obviously something that was scripted to happen. Alright, but life must be traded for life. The more you die, the more the valley will die around you, until it is fully deadened. Without enough life in the valley, you cannot be revived. Alright, so there's a consequence for dying. So all of the plants and animals, well, not all of them, but some of them, in an area will die. Alright, I took a little bit of an edit there, as I felt like the game was a little bit dark. It was hard for me to distinguish things, so I just went ahead and bumped the game up a little bit, so hopefully that helps you guys out as far as seeing different objects in the world. Okay. We'll just go ahead and try and shoot life back into various objects, but even after I bump the gamer up a little bit, sometimes it's hard for me to distinguish objects. That would be one criticism, I would say, because maybe it's just this dark cave area that's a little bit iffy, but...
It's clear to me that the natives of the valley worshipped the giant tree here almost as a deity. Great lengths were taken to construct obelisks around this tree, which the ancients used to help grow it. I've begun to use the term Titan tree to designate this species. According to my interpretation, once every 1,000 years, the Titan tree will produce the mythological and famed Life Seed, said to possess the power to shatter the world into fragments. No wonder the military is so interested in this place.
Alright, so that tree produces a Life Seed. Alright, note from a Pathfinder. Those acorn doors are pretty neat. Captain Hall ordered us to collect enough acorns to open all the passageways in Sector 3. I'm about halfway there. Alright, and it looks like we have another one of those medallions. Alright, so there is a bunch of orbs inside this tree, but I don't feel like there's a way in. No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, maybe I could kill the tree and get those things, but I don't know if that's a good idea. Alright, we have a little bit more of an open area, and I think I see one obelisk over there, so we'll go check it out. Actually, there's another one maybe a little bit closer by, nearer. Oop. We're hitting the roots. There we go. I was trying to get some momentum. There we go. As we run downhill, we should get momentum. Alright. Might be a little tricky getting over here. Looks like we're going to have to get a good amount of speed, maybe. Alright, here we go. Ooh, maybe a little late on the jump. Or actually early on the jump. Alright, leaf suits are very heavy equipment. This makes water incredibly dangerous. Well, I kind of suspected that. You know, another way I probably could have done that is platforming on these. Okay, that probably would have been more intelligent. Alright, let's see. What did we kill in the area? This looks dead now. Alright. Maybe just be a little bit more patient. Find another route. This looks like a little bit better route over here. Maybe even coming through here. Ah, there we go. I think this is the way you're supposed to come. Yeah, that's more manageable of a jump.
The origin of this valley's inhabitants continues to elude me. They seem to have coexisted with the mysterious forest sprites. I find loose hints of Mesoamerican civilization, such as the Olmec, with their renowned colossal headstone sculptures dating back to 900 BC. Strangely, though, the Olmec civilization was much younger and located no less than 5,000 kilometers away from here.
Alright, you know what? I think I'm gonna call this video to a close. So far, I'm very impressed. We see a lot of the different gameplay mechanics. In this initial stages, we see the kind of Sonic-like platforming that exists, but in a first-person perspective. We have some minor puzzle solving so far. Maybe that will ramp up, maybe it won't. In any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.